As this week concludes in the NFL, we know which teams right now are a lock-in for the playoffs. But today, we're going to take a look at the teams that currently don't have a winning record, and I'm going to tell you which of those teams have the best shot to make the playoffs despite being under 500. First, let's start with the AFC. We're going to take a look at the LA Chargers. They're currently 4-5, and their win percentage is .444. They had a huge win this week against the Green Bay Packers. Nobody expected it. They stunned Aaron Rodgers and his team. To me, the Chargers have a very talented team and still have a very good shot to make the playoffs. And I feel like we always discuss this every year with them. They always start off the year slow. They always fall under 500. And what happens in December and January? They're always right there in the middle of it. Now, I don't see the Chargers winning their division because Kansas City being 6-3 and Patrick Mahomes coming back, it's going to be very tough for them to actually win the division. But I feel like there's not a whole lot of competition in the AFC where if the Chargers could get a 10-6 or even a 9-7 record, I feel like they would still have a very good chance to make the wild card despite being under 500 right now. Next in the AFC is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The current record is 4-5 and a win percentage of .444, just like the LA Chargers. Now, unlike the Chargers, the Jaguars were actually at 500 going into Sunday, but they lost to the Houston Texans in London. Now, the Jaguars have the pieces, they just have to put them together. They still have a very good defense despite Jalen Ramsey being traded and Telvin Smith not playing this year. They still have a very good front seven, in my opinion, one of the best in the NFL. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, they still have a top running back with Leonard Fournette, but to me, the main key to them actually making the playoffs is Nick Foles coming back 100%. Gardner Minshew has done a good job. He just doesn't have that experience in the NFL that Nick Foles has down the stretch. Now, to me, the Jaguars still have a very good chance to win the division. They're only 2 games out of first place behind the Texans, and I feel like this is a very good division to be in for them. In any other division, they would be in 3rd or 4th place, but right now they still have a very good shot to win it. And despite being under 500, I would watch out for the Jaguars to win the AFC South. Now let's take a look at the NFC. Unlike the AFC, the NFC to me is the most stacked conference in the NFL. I feel like more than half of the 16 teams in the NFC could be actual contenders this year. It's just stacked all over the board. And with that being said, I only think there's one team currently that's under 500 that could make the playoffs, and that's the Detroit Lions. Now, they're under 500 now, and I'm not even saying they're going to be above 500 when the year finishes because they're in one of the toughest divisions in football, being the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Both have winning records and will most likely be in the playoffs. I think the Detroit Lions, out of the under 500 teams, have one of the best rosters, and they're not even that far under. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, they have a good roster, but with them being 2-6, there's no way I see them making the playoffs or finishing with a winning record. But the Lions, they're right there hovering under 500 where there's a legit chance they could win and actually go 9-7 or maybe even 10-6 to where they could get a playoff spot. But like I said, with the NFC being so stacked, I honestly don't think it's realistic. But to me, the Lions have the best chance out of the NFC to make the playoffs despite being under 500. I'm Will the Thrill, and those are NFL teams that are currently under 500 that I believe have the best shot to make the playoffs. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at WTT Football Page, and we'll see you next time.